The Brewers take on the Cubs, 3:20 p.m. Eastern start time. Both teams are minus 110 on the money line. Pretty much a coin flip as of right now. Total's 8.5 runs. We got Colin Rea making a spot start for the Cubs. Adrian Hauser for the Brewers. I'm 2-0 in my last two extra daily pick tier package plays on patreon.com/BrockPage. I'm also hitting at 67% my last 12 MLB tier package plays on that site as well. If you want some more information on how you can get in on the action, link for that website is in the description section below. And once again, that's patreon.com/BrockPage. Now, Hauser has struck out 13 along with a 2.65 ERA. He's also got a whip of just 1.06. The Brewers have won 3 out of their last 6, including a 4-3 victory over these very Cubs last night. The Brewers have won 60% of their games on the road this season, and they rank the top 3 in striking batters out. Christian Yelich leads the team in homers with 5. He also leads the club in RBI with 12 batted in. Keston Hiura leads the team in hits, while Eric Sogard leads the club in on-base percentage. He's got an OBP of 339. Milwaukee's in the top 10 in hits allowed on average per game as well. Top 10 in runs allowed on the road. They're taking on a Cubs team who left a bunch of runners on base last night. They also have Colin Rea on the bump today. He's got a career 4.59 ERA and a 1.36 whip. The Cubs are in the bottom 3 in striking out on average per game, bottom 10 in home scoring. Now, when it comes to the total in this one, 3 out of the Cubs' last 4 ball games stayed under the total of 8.5 runs. They're also 70% to the under at Wrigley. The Brewers on the other side, well, they've gone 60% to the under this year when traveling. 5 out of Hauser's last 6 starts stayed under the posted total as well. Of course, that dates back to last season. Give me the Brewers winning this one outright and the under 8.5 in that game. Before we go ahead and move on, just want to take another quick timeout and welcome you to the video. Got some lines and personal leans out for Saturday's MLB baseball action. Happy Saturday to you. Hopefully you're not too hungover today, and hopefully you had a great start to your weekend. Now, before we dive into some more free content right here on YouTube, I just have to quickly remind you once again that we are currently 8-4 in our last 12 MLB tier package plays on patreon.com/BrockPage. We're also hitting at 60% in our last 10 board member tier package plays on that site as well. If you want some more information on how you can join in on the action, a link for that site is in the description section below. And once again, that's patreon.com/BrockPage. And moving on, we're going to go ahead and take a look at the Mets. Phillies, 6:05 p.m. East. The Phils are minus 190, totals 8.5, juice to the over. The Mets are plus 160 to win it. And if you like the Mets to keep this one close, they're minus $1.25, catching the 1.5 on the run line. We got Steven Matz for the Mets, Aaron Nola for the Fightins. Now, Nola's got a 2.79 ERA with 29 strikeouts. He looks awesome this year. He's also one of the league leaders in whip. He's currently got a whip of just 0.62. He's also walked just 2 batters in 19 1/3 innings pitched. Incredible command. The Phillies rank in the top 10 in scoring, top 10 in offensive walks. JT Realmuto leads the club in homers with 8 of them. He's also first in the big leagues in RBI with 20 of them. Bryce Harper is currently batting .347 with 4 homers and 11 RBI. He's also got a .484 on-base percentage. Bryce also currently leads the club in hits as well. Didi Gregorius has also hit 3 home runs and driven in 11. Really good Phil's lineup. Don't know why they're not winning more games. And as bad as this Phil's starting rotation has been, they don't walk many batters. They're in the top 5 in the league in walks. So they are taking on a Mets club who dropped 3 out of their last 5, including a 6-5 loss to this Philly squad last night. They also got blasted by the Nationals 16-4 during that span as well. Steven Matz is on the hill for the Mets tonight, 0-3 on the season with an 8.20 ERA. Matz also has a whip of 1.50 as well. The Mets are also striking out a lot. Bottom 10 in offensive strikeouts, bottom 5 in hits allowed. The Mets have lost 5 out of their last 6 games where Steven Matz made the start. Now, total-wise, New York's last 3 straight all got over the total of 8.5 runs. 5 out of their last 7 also got over that number. Meanwhile, the Phillies on the other side, they are officially 60% to the over for the season. Give me the Phillies minus 1.5 and the over 8.5 in that game. Moving on, we're going to take a look at the Pirates Reds, 6:10 p.m. Eastern first pitch. The Reds are the heavy $2.20 favorite. Totals 8.5 flat. The Pirates are plus $1.85 to win it. And if you like Pittsburgh to keep this one close, they're minus $1.15 catching the 1.5. We've got Stephen Brault for the Buccos, Trevor Bauer for the Reds. Now Bauer's 2-0 with a .93 ERA. This guy looks awesome this year. He struck out a staggering 32 batters in just under 20 innings pitched. He's also got a whip of just .57. The Reds have won 4 out of their last 7, including an 8-1 victory last night over these Pirates. Since he ranks in the top 10 in offensive walks, top 3 in striking batters out, Nick Castellanos currently leads the club in hits and RBI. He's currently 5th in the majors in RBI with 19. And oh yeah, Nick's also dropped 8 homers already on the season, which puts him in a tie for second in that category as well. Jesse Winker, who's coming off a really good performance last night, well, he is currently leading the club in batting average and OBP. He's currently batting .365 with an on-base percentage of .484. The Reds are in the top 10 in hits allowed, top 10 in scoring at home. They're taking on a Pittsburgh team who's got Stephen Brault on the hill for them tonight. Brault's walked 6 batters already in just 7 innings of work, kind of struggling with his command a little bit. He's got an ERA of 5.14 and a whip of 1.43. The Pirates lost 4 out of their last 5, including a contest with the Tigers where they gave up a staggering 17 runs. And as a matter of fact, the Pirates have given up 61 total runs in their last 8 ball games. They rank in the bottom 3 in runs allowed, bottom 10 in offensive hits. This Pittsburgh club is averaging just 3.4 runs per contest when they travel. Now, scoring-wise, 5 out of Pittsburgh's last 6 ball games got over the total of 8.5 runs. 12 out of their last 18 got over that number as well. Meanwhile, Cincy on the other side, they saw their last 5 straight get over the 8.5 themselves. 7 out of their last 8 also got over that number. Keep in mind, Great American Small Park is where they're playing at. Give me the Reds minus 1.5 and the over 8.5 in that game. Next contest, Indians-Tigers, 6:10 p.m. East. The Indians are the $1.80 favorite, total 7.5 flat. The Tigers are plus $1.55 on the money line. And if you like them on the run line, Detroit's minus $1.10 to cover. Spencer Turnbull's on the hill for the Tigers, Shane Bieber for the Indians. Bieber's 3-0 with a 1.63 ERA. He looks awesome as well. He struck out 43 batters in under 28 innings pitched. He's got a whip of just .76. The Indians have won 6 out of their last 9, including a 10-5 victory over this very Detroit squad last night, doubled them up. Cleveland's in the top 5 in offensive walks, top 3 in runs allowed. Franmil Reyes leads the club in hits and batting average. He's currently hitting .304 with 3 homers and 13 ribbies. Jose Ramirez also hit 4 homers and has 14 RBI on the season. Tied for 20th in the majors in that category, by the way. Cleveland is in the top 3 in hits allowed per contest, top 3 in striking batters out. They are taking on a Detroit club who lost their last 3 straight and gave up 25 total runs during that stretch. Detroit's won just 4 out of 11 ball games at Comerica Park this season, 3-8 against the spread in those 11 home games. And of course, as always, when I refer to the spread in baseball, I'm referring to the run line. The Tigers strike out an awful lot as well. Bottom 5 in offensive Ks, bottom 10 in runs allowed. And when it comes to the scoring in this one, the Tigers' last 3 straight flew way over the total of 7.5 runs. 5 out of their last 7 also got over that number as well. Meanwhile, the Indians on the other side, well, they saw 5 out of their last 7 get over the 7.5 themselves. Give me the Indians minus 1.5 and the over 7.5 in that game. All right, next matchup, it is going to be, man, we're going down really far here. It's going to be the Mariners taking on the Astros, 7:10 p.m. East. The Astros are the $2.25 favorite. Total's 9.5 flat. The Mariners are plus 185 on the money line. And if you like them on the run line, they're minus 105, catching the 1.5. We got Nick Margevicius for the Mariners, Christian Javier for the Astros. Houston's won 3 out of their last 4, including an 11-1 drubbing of the Mariners last night. That total went over in the first inning. Houston scored 28 total runs in their last 4 contests as well. They're in the top 3 in scoring, top 3 in offensive walks. They're currently winning 60% of their games at home this year. 60% run line cashes in those games at Minute Maid. Carlos Correa leads the team in hits and batting average. He's hitting .324 with an on-base percentage of .418. Alex Bregman's hit 4 home runs along with Yuli Gurriel. Martin Maldonado also currently leads the club in RBI with 14, and that's tied for 20th in the majors. Houston's in the top 10 in home scoring. Christian Javier has also struck out 16 batters in under 16 innings pitched. He's got a whip of just .89. Now, Houston is taking on a Mariners club who lost their last 3 straight, 3-game losing streak for them, including a 7-4 loss to the Rangers during that stretch. They've also lost 10 out of their last 13, and they've won just 36% of their games away from home. Seattle ranks in the bottom 10 in hits and averages just 3.9 runs per contest. They've also won just 7 out of 19 games when catching plus money this year. Now, total-wise, 3 out of Seattle's last 4 games got over the total of 9.5 runs. The Mariners are officially 10-1 to the over when traveling this season. Meanwhile, on the Astros side of things, on the other side, well, they are 70% to the over at Minute Maid Park this year. Give me the Astros minus 1.5 and the over 9.5 in that game. Next contest, Nationals, Orioles, 7:35 p.m. Eastern start time. The Nationals are minus 180, totals 8.5 juice to the over. The O's are plus 150 on the money line. If you like Baltimore for some run line cash, they're minus 105 to cover the 1.5. Pretty good price point there. We've got Asher Wojciechowski for the Orioles, Patrick Corbin for the Nats. And despite a really superb start to the season for Corbin, he looks great. The Nationals have lost 3 out of their last 4 games, scoring just 2 runs or less in 2 of those losses. Washington's been victorious in just 3 out of their last 9, and they suffered an 11-0 blowout loss to these very Orioles in the nation's capital. The Nats are in the bottom 10 in hits allowed on average per game, bottom 3 in offensive walks. Washington is just 7-10 thus far in the season, and they find themselves 4 games behind the first-place Marlins in the NL East. They are taking on a red-hot Orioles team who won 6 out of their last 7 themselves, scoring 49 total runs in those victories. Baltimore's in the top 10 in scoring, top 5 in hits. Hanser Alberto currently leads the team in hits and batting average. Hanser's batting .337, which currently ranks 9th in the league. Renato Nunez leads the club in homers with 5, along with an OBP of .395. Anthony Santander has also smashed 5 homers on the year and leads the club in runs batted in. Anthony's knocked in 20 RBI thus far in the season, which is tied for first in the league. Now, total-wise, 4 out of Baltimore's last 5 games got over the total of 8.5 runs. Baltimore also went 5-3 to the over at Camden Yards this season. Meanwhile, Washington on the other side of things, 5 out of their last 7 away games got over the posted number themselves. So give me the Orioles plus 1.5 and the over 8.5 in that game. Next contest, Rangers, Rockies, 8:10 p.m. East. The Rockies are minus 175, totals 11.5 juice to the under. The Rangers are plus 145 for some money line cash. And if you like the Rangers for some run line cash, they're minus $1.25 catching the 1.5. We got Kyle Gibson for the Rangers, Herman Marquez for Colorado, or as the Colorado announcer radio guy likes to say, Herman Marcus. But anyway, despite a real nice start to the season for Marquez, this Rockies club has lost 4 out of their last 5, including a 3-2 loss to this Texas club. Colorado's covered just 5 out of 11 run lines at Coors Field this year. They're also ranking in the bottom 5 in striking batters out, bottom 3 in hits allowed at home. They're taking on a Rangers club who's got Kyle Gibson on the bump, 15 Ks in just 15 and a third innings of work. The Rangers are currently on a 3-game winning streak, including a 7-4 victory over the Mariners during that span. Of course, Mariners not that good. The Rangers did exactly what they were supposed to do in that one. The Rangers also won 6 out of their last 7, sweeping the Angels in 3 during that stretch as well. Texas is in the top 10 in striking batters out, top 5 in hits allowed. Nick Solak currently leads the team in hits and batting average. He's hitting .311 with an OBP of .382. Joey Gallo's hit 4 home runs on the season, 10 RBI as well. The Rangers are a perfect 5-0 in their last 5 games at Coors Field. Now, total-wise, 9 out of Texas's last 10 games stayed under the total of 11.5 runs. Meanwhile, Colorado on the other side saw 6 out of their last 11 home games stay under the posted total themselves. Give me the Rangers plus 1.5 and the under 11.5 in that game. Next and final matchup of the show, it is going to be Dodgers-Angels, 9:40 p.m. East. The Dodgers are minus 165, totals 9.5 juice to the under. The Angels are plus 140 for an upset win. And if you like them to cover, they're minus 115 on the run line. Andrew Heaney's for the Angels, Walker Buehler for the Dodgers. And although Buehler struggled a little bit here in the early going, the Dodgers are 2-1 straight up when he makes the start this year. Certainly getting some support for him. And their lone loss was a 5-4 nail-biter against the Padres. So pretty good success with Buehler on the bump. Buehler struck out 12 batters in just over 14 innings pitched. He's also got a whip of just 1.05. The Dodgers won their last 3 straight, including a 7-4 victory last night over these very Angels. They also shut out the Padres 6-0 during that span as well. The Dodgers have won 12 out of their last 17, and they actually find themselves winning 80% of their games away from home this year. They're also 70% against the spread when traveling as well. Mookie Betts, what can I say? This guy has been awesome. He leads the team in hits and batting average. He's hitting .303 with 7 home runs and 15 RBI. Justin Turner leads the club with 16 RBI and has 6 doubles, while Chris Taylor has an OBP of .392. The Dodgers are in the top 5 in scoring, top 3 in runs allowed. And when it comes to the total in this one, 6 out of the Dodgers' last 8 games stayed under the total of 9.5 runs. The Dodgers are officially 60% to the under away from home this season. Give me the Dodgers minus 1.5 and the under 9.5 in that game. All right, guys, that's going to do it for me. Don't forget to check me out on Patreon. If you decide to get a package here today, just keep in mind we'll bill you the day you sign up and then the first of every month following that. But most importantly, guys, I got to thank you for joining me right here on YouTube. Really hope you enjoyed all this great free content, all this great free information. And with that said, happy Saturday to you. Best of luck to you. And I look forward to seeing you later on today on my website at patreon.com/BrockPage.